While staying with the president, his head of security could be suspended for his role in the Phala Phala Farm robbery scandal. Major General Wally Rhoode reportedly faces 3 charges and has been asked to provide reasons why he shouldn't be suspended. Meanwhile, MPs have been given a week to submit written evidence to an independent panel probing Ramaphosa's actions. DA Chief Whip Siviwe Gwarube joins me now. Siviwe, good evening to you. Thanks for your time. Your response to this as the DA.
Good evening, Kathy, and good evening to your viewers. My apologies, I'm being load-shedded at the moment. Look, I mean, firstly, I think just to take a step back, I mean, I think in keeping with the conversation about the president's address yesterday, the address, in my view, was wholly inadequate, particularly considering the fact that, some of these revelations are now coming to the fore. And the president understands that, and he better than anybody else knows that, new evidence is coming to the fore regarding this Phala Phala matter. And so there is greater need, so to speak, to not only seem to be credible in terms of fighting corruption, but also to actually be in earnest. And so his address yesterday was lacking in many ways. For instance, the president didn't mention not once a single minister that he will be dismissing from his cabinet following the tabling of the report. And 4 months he's had to essentially study the report, make the political considerations he needs to make. And yet, there was just a throwaway line about how he will be considering his options, which in our views is rather, it's simply not good enough. And speaking about whistleblowers, as your previous a guest in the studio was speaking about, that yes, there was a mention about the protection of whistleblowers, but how are we ensuring that this is actually being done in practice? How are we ensuring that we are bolstering the criminal justice system for independence, but also with additional budget, because we also know that resources are a big problem. And lastly, and perhaps more importantly, Kathy, the president's address existed almost in a vacuum. We have been fighting tooth and nail to have the recommendations of the Zondo Commission report implemented in Parliament. And his very MPs, who is the party that he leads, are essentially actively blocking any attempts to do so. And so I would have expected, having taken all this time and having spent all this money, that yesterday that the president would have a lot more concrete, measurable sort of announcements that he would have made with regards to this matter.
All right, Siviwe, we'll leave it there for tonight. I understand you are being load-shed, so we'll just pause it on that note.